He's approaching 15 feet. 12, 9, 8. Oh, sweet baby Cheez-Its. That's one mean, macadocious mint of a man. Hi, I'm Jen Burton, romantic fairy godmama for smart, successful single women around the world, and welcome to a brand new episode of Fairy Dust TV. Today's topic, how to stop being nervous around men that you find attractive. So it's no secret to me that even for the boldest of women, the most beautiful of women, the most successful, highly educated of women, each of these women has her kryptonite. And 8 out of 10 of these women, her kryptonite is a man that she finds highly attractive. Now, how do I know? Because I work with these women on a daily basis, which means if you are one of the millions of single women around the world who get really nervous around guys that you find attractive, then you are in the right place today. And we are going to go over 3 ways to help tame your nerves so that you can leave him with more of the impression that you intended to. So let's start with number 1, own and understand. We're going to start with own. Now, own, we're talking about owning this piece of you. Now, this piece of you, we'll call this the Dork Goblin. I got the name the Dork Goblin about being so insanely nervous around men that it feels like you're being possessed by a spirit who hijacks your true nature and leaves you doing, saying, acting out in ways that are not reflective of you at all. That concept I got from a lovely lady and who does brilliant networking and storytelling videos. Her name is Marsha Shander over at yesyesmarsha.com. And I'm going to link underneath this video so you can check her out. And she talks a little bit more about the Dork Goblin. But I want to bring it back, and I love that phrase that she uses. And I think she got that from somebody else as well. Regardless, we're going to use the phrase Dork Goblin as that spirit that just takes over you, like she mentions, and hijacks you so that he only gets to see something that you didn't intend for him to see. And I want you to own this piece of you, because this is actually a very special piece of you. The truth is that your Dork Goblin is a exaggerated version of part of your quirkiness. And what most women don't realize in dating is that their quirkiness, their quirks, their idiosyncrasies, their weirdness, so many things about them are actually very endearing to men. Why? Because the other piece of that I want you to understand is that men have the same thing. They have their Dork Goblin. They're just as nervous around you. And they act out in ways that they would rather not. And that's also can be, it's the same concept of being an exaggerated version of them. So they find those pieces endearing about you when they're not super overwhelming, of course. So for today, and number 1, I want you to own and understand your Dork Goblin, understand that men find your quirkiness endearing, and own this piece of you. And I want to help you to own this piece of you by going to my website at Irresistibility, and I'll have that on the screen for you. Go to Irresistibility, and you're going to download the first 2 chapters of my online dating program for free, because there's an exercise in there that I want you to use to really get into your quirkiness, which is sexy for men, and it's sexy when you own it. Now, if you're always being very self-deprecating about it, it's not quite as sexy. But when you own it and just accept that it's a part of you, that also diffuses the energy and allows you to calm down about it, because it doesn't matter who we are. It doesn't matter how successful we are, how beautiful we are, how well educated we are. We all have a freaking Dork Goblin. My Dork Goblin happens to be a highly competitive bitch who likes to emasculate men. So you can just imagine that scenario right then. And there is always a way to tame her, to reel her in and use her for good instead of evil. Let's move on to number 2. All right. you're going to practice with men. Now, what do I mean? You're actually going to practice with men that you don't feel intimidated with. So you're going to start flirting with them. And when I say flirting, let me make it clear that I'm not referencing necessarily sexual flirting. Flirting is being playful. Flirting is interacting, having, a little bit of extended conversations about acknowledging men. Practice complimenting men. I don't think women realize how bad we actually are at complimenting men. So if you start with the men that you're not highly attracted to, you'll start getting more and more comfortable with the art of paying men compliments, of having banter with them. And I'm not saying everything has to be compliments, because that's not always fun. You can be playful as well. And move into that arena of doing that with more men. And then the next component of that is I want you to start finding those men attractive. So we can actually, as women, we're powerful enough to see, to find something attractive about each man that we meet, okay? I'm not saying we have to, but the more that you do that, the less you're gonna start feeling intimidated by men that you do naturally find highly attractive. So find these men attractive, pay them compliments, practice having these verbal engagements with them, and watch. It's not going to happen in one day, I promise you, but watch as this goes on, how your nerves around men start to dissipate more and more. They may never go away, I will tell you that, but there's nothing wrong with that. Nervousness can be they can be exciting as well. Okay, finally, for number 3, I want you to assume that most men find you attractive. Okay, I know what you might be thinking. You might be thinking one of two things. Well, duh. Or my second lady who I'm talking to right now. Well, Jen, isn't that really arrogant on my part? And the answer is yes. It is very arrogant, but guess what? Who the frick is gonna know about it? Nobody. So it's no harm, no foul. But again, it dissipates that energy and allows you to start engaging with men on a different level. Perception is very powerful. And if you can change that perception, then all of a sudden you're going to feel more in the driver's seat instead of feeling awkward at all times. Okay, so let's review. I want you to own and understand. Own your dork goblin and understand that men find your quirkiness endearing, and they have their own quirkiness as well. 2, practice with men. Start finding something attractive about all the men that you encounter with and engage with them more, flirt with them more. It doesn't have to be sexual. If you want it to be sexual, that's fine. By the way, just because I want you to know, if you ever sexually flirt with somebody, that doesn't mean that you are consenting to having sex with them. It just means that you're sexually flirting with them. And if you end that encounter there, that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. Have fun with it, ladies. It's a lot of fun. A little more advanced if you're not used to it, so just start with the playful flirting first. And then number 3, assume that most men find you attractive. Because they do. They really do. Okay, I have a bonus tip for my ladies who are online dating or thinking about online dating. If you get nervous about your first date, there's something that I want you to do. And that is, I'm going to read from my notes on this, so just make sure I get it exactly right for you. I want you to send them a message before your first date that says, hey, before we meet, I have a little confession. If I find you as attractive in person as I do online, I might be a wee bit on the shy side. So I hope that you'll cut me a bit of slack. Winky face, okay? So what does this do? This is actually genius. Why? Because first off, it dissipates your nervous energy. You're giving yourself permission to be nervous. And when you give yourself permission, guess what happens? A lot of that nervousness starts to go away. But the second piece to this, and the even more brilliant piece, is that this automatically sets a guy up to be on his toes a little more, because he's going to be looking to see whether or not you're shy around him. And if all of a sudden you're not shy anymore because you've dissipated that energy, he's going to be on his absolute best behavior trying to win over your affection, because he now thinks he's not sure if you're attracted to him. It's going to keep him on his toes. It's a win-win situation for the both of you, and an even better date to ensue. Okay, lover girl, there you have it. all that you need to start letting go of some of that nervousness. Again, it's not going to go away completely. That is okay. You can use that energy, add your breath to it, and make your dating life even more exciting and start approaching or allowing yourself to be approached by men that you find highly attractive without letting your dork goblin dominate all of it. And instead, allowing her to be a sexy piece of you that he gets to experience on a smaller version. See you next time, Lover Girl. Here's to you having an incredibly insane, awesome, sexy